Feminism is the
Feminism is a scam. A few years ago, I was an angry, blue-haired feminist. I once believed that male privilege was real and that I was a victim of the wage gap. Now that I understand the true motives of feminism, I know that this could not be further from the truth, and that modern-day feminism is a war on true masculinity. Before women had the right to vote, most were stay-at-home wives, which meant they weren't working jobs and couldn't be taxed. Our overlords didn't like that. Rockefeller started funding feminist campaigns in media, and as a consequence of the movement, women started entering the workforce and leaving the home. Children would then be separated from their parents and sent to Rockefeller-funded schools to be indoctrinated by the state. All of this ultimately disrupting the family unit at its core. Feminism is defined as the belief in social, economic, and political equality of the sexes. But in the West, I must ask, what rights do men have that women don't? Modern feminists are convincing women that hookup culture, using hormonal birth control, and not shaving is liberation. That toxic masculinity is prevalent and the patriarchy must be dismantled. Through movies and media, we're taught that working for the man, climbing the corporate ladder, and paying tax is more empowering and valuable than raising the next generation. Women have lost touch with our natural loving instincts, and birth rates are plummeting. Men and women are not the same. And by protesting for equality of outcome rather than opportunity, feminists are demonizing and emasculating men.
Welcome to the JJ Carroll Show. Let's get into this topic. It makes a lot of people very uncomfortable, but we're looking at a natural order, God's natural order that has been absolutely devastated. We have hyper feminine men, which left a void for hyper masculine women. And let me tell you, there is nothing less attractive than a masculine woman. Nothing, just zero. How many times we're going to look at women that are in their 40s and 50s and childless, and they are all of them, six out of 10 on some kind of antidepressant? Why is that? Why do you think that is? Do you remember your mothers, your mom and your mom's friends, and maybe your aunts and your grandmas, and any woman that you were around growing up? Were they psychotic? Were they all on some mood altering drugs? Did they have body piercings all over them? Did they have body tattoos? They have multiple colored hair, many obese. I don't remember that. I remember women knowing their role, embracing it, and being happy. Were there some that were more happy than others? Yes, that's called life. But we didn't have this hyper masculine, hate men, emasculate men society. Everything that is going on in the world today is outside of God's natural order, completely outside of God's natural order. Look at what the feminists were able to get the women to agree to. Let's just go down it, okay? It's beneath them to submit to a man. However, they're going to go work for a man. Where is the intelligent women looking at their husbands and looking at other men and seeing them, many of them dying inside through soulless jobs that they do because they need to provide for their families, so they suck it up. Do you think it's all like everyone's happy and we're all going to long lunches and eating steak lunches and drinking margaritas, and or do you think that many of us have, in many times in our careers, trudged through them and would have killed to be home with our family and our kids? And you women were convinced to trade being a mother, setting your own schedule, running your own shop, doing everything that you wanted to do whenever you wanted to do it. And to be moms, you gave that up to go work, to get in a car or a bus or a train and commute to work. and work 8 to 10 hours and then take another drive home because you are now committed to a man that doesn't care about you, the man being a company or an organization, a government agency? What's going to happen when you're sick? Who's going to take care of you? Your friends? Your friends have already figured it out, sweetheart. And the men that are finally getting into the business of being self-sufficient, they've gotten their groove, they have money in the bank, maybe bought a house, have everything under control, they're not going to go for you. Because as I've told my son many times, when we talk about this, it's a very, very binary choice. I tell my son, this is what's going to happen. As you get older, you need to find a young woman, a Christian woman that believes in God's natural order, because this is what's going to be like, son. So do you want to marry a virgin, someone that believes in God and has, quote, the proverbial wrapping around her? Do you want that? Or would you like this whore that is not in her early 20s like this girl, this young, beautiful girl, but she's in the late 30s, early 40s, and she's been run through, son. She's had about 40 partners. See, and you women don't understand how men talk. So when we understand that you've been run through, you think we're going to marry you? You think we're going to champion for you? We're going to die for you? We're going to work extra shifts for you? You've proven yourself to be unworthy. And this is where we're at in this world. And the men are changing rapidly. And the women have taken notice and it's scaring them. And I'm going to tell you why it's scaring them. Because the men have realized, oh, dear God, these women are not worth it. And the ones that are worth it are the minority. So I better get my ass in gear. Do I want some guys are still like, I'm still going to run through these whores? That's fine. The vast majority of men now are saying, I'm going to work my ass off. I'm going to present myself in the best light possible for that minority. And I'm going to get one of those women. And all the other women are witnessing the transformation of men and their expectations. Not only their expectations, they're demanding young women that have not been run through, demanding traditional Christian women. And now there's a big segment of women that nobody wants. Nobody wants at all. You are the 25-year-old Toyota Celica with rust all over it. My prayer every day is for my son's future wife, that she is able to maintain her dignity, her religious convictions, and that she is preparing herself to be a Christian wife. Because nobody gives two craps about the mid management wife. The mid management, I'm going to be a boss babe. I made it up to the junior level executives. Hell, I made it to the executive level. Great. Who cares? Men don't care. Men simply don't care. In fact, I would actually argue that the higher you go up, the less chances you're going to be able to date anybody, because men don't want that. They don't want it because you're not the priority. The stupid job is. And I want a legacy. I want some children. What are you going to do? You're gonna have some children, and then we're going to hire nannies to take care of them. We're going to shove them into some daycare. And then from daycare, they're going to go straight into pre-K, and then pre-K to kindergarten. And now the state has them. The whole world is balkanizing. The entire United States is balkanizing. This is one of those lines in the sand, if you will, of the balkanization of America. You're going to see a revival of Christianity. And inside that revival of Christianity are going to be new found expectations and demands from both men and from women. And any stench of feminism is going to be a death wish to women. The sniff of, I'm going to be a boss babe, I'm a feminist, you're done. You might as well just go to Starbucks and try to get one of those skinny armed little dudes to be your husband, or to be whatever the hell it is that you think it is going to be. Feminism has absolutely destroyed the United States of America, our God's natural order, and has destroyed women. Absolutely destroyed women. Here's Rachel Wilson talking about women of today. And it's fascinating, just a minute and 30 seconds to listen to what she says. Listen to these statistics and tell me, did feminism work or did it destroy women?
Rachel, the average American woman is the most educated, most financially independent, and most free woman in human history. She's also the loneliest, most depressed, and least likely to have kids. Why do you think women are so unhappy in 2026?
That's the million-dollar question. There's actually been two large-scale studies done trying to answer that question. I think the first came out in 2009. It was called The Paradox of Declining Female Happiness. And in this study, the authors in their summary said that women have reported, this is based on women's surveys when you're asking women their opinion on how they are doing in life, how they feel about things. They're reporting higher levels of unhappiness, like you said, loneliness, depression, than ever before. So if we go back to the 70s, which is arguably kind of the tipping point where feminism became the dominant ethos. If you go back to the early 70s where they asked women these questions, they largely reported being pretty content. And now in the 2000s, we have 26% of all American women on at least one psychiatric drug. We have higher rates of fetal alcohol syndrome and alcoholism among women than we've ever recorded before. And women just overall reporting dissatisfaction, unhappiness, a feeling of being really torn, trying to have it all, trying to
have it all. You're not going to have it all. But what's amazing is what you were convinced, you, the women and the men, because the men married these women and the men okayed them going out and doing what they wanted to do. But you were propagandized to hate everything God created in you. God didn't create you to go into your 40s and 50s and 60s alone. God created you to have children in your 20s, early 30s at the latest. Be a grandma by your 50s. In the 70s, the women were content. Do you look around and see any women that are content right now? Go ask the women that have been in the workforce 5-10 years. Ask them how happy they are versus seeing some traditional Christian women that have children, they're stay at home. They might not have as much money as that lady, or they might be going through that early stages where they're month to month, as every one of their children needs shoes and food and clothing and school and this sporting event and this singing lesson. Yeah, but go be a fly on the wall and watch that family inside their house. They're happy. It's filled with love. Is it filled with some chaos? Is it filled with drama? Is it filled with uncertainty? Yeah, of course. But it's drowned out by love because they have each other. Now go visit the woman that just worked a 10 or 12-hour shift, had, quote, drinks, professional after work drinks. And all she wants to do is what? What's missing for her? What does she need? Well, she needs a partner. How are you going to get that partner? What are you going to do? How are you going to fit that in? Where are you going to meet them? And when that partner is a little older than you or your age, and that partner is 35, 36, 37, 40, and he's going to look at you like I'm looking at a Toyota Celica. You may not be even be a Toyota Celica. Maybe you're like a 37, 40-year-old, I don't know, Ferrari. You still look beat up. You've still been run through. They're not twisted. Their mind's not jacked up from the stupidity that's been fed you and that you have obviously accepted. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that every single time. Everything in the world has changed. I grew up in this boss babe. I grew up in this, and I'll be very honest. I got caught up in, yeah, you can do this, you can do that. No, this is absurd. Once I got old enough, I just remember thinking, well, this is absolutely absurd. How can two people work all day? They're exhausted. They're going to come home, and what are they going to do? We got about an hour and a half. We get dinner, shower, and go to bed. So, well, I got to work out. I got to run errands. I got to get some groceries for tomorrow. Then the day's over, and everyone's unhappy. The house is dirty. Nothing's getting done. The yard's growing up. The bushes need to be trimmed. Everything. We'll do it on the weekend, and then all weekend long we just grind through our weekends. Look at what's happened to us as a nation. Look at how far outside of God's natural order we are, that we actually think that we're more enlightened than our parents and our grandparents or great grandparents. Think of that. I don't remember my grandmother being on narcotics to get through the daily grind of life. She just got through the daily grind of life because she had children. And it wasn't about her. Isn't that amazing? When it's not about you, you actually function better. You actually have priorities and objectives and goals every single day. It's not about you. It's never supposed to be about you. It's supposed to be about your children and the love and the gifts you get from that surpass anything that you're going to get from some dude that is your boss. I've been a boss. I treat my employees and the people that work for me very, very well. But at the end of the day, do I want anything wrong or bad to happen? No. But at the end of the day, do I really care? Honestly, I have a family. It's not if I care or not. I just don't have the capacity to care about you because I have a wife and a child. I have priorities. You're not in that priority set. Not because I'm mean or because I don't like you. It's I have priorities and you're not inside the top 100. And that's what women don't understand. They believe that we grew up in the 80s with the TV show Friends and we're all going to be friends and we're going to live together and everyone's going to be happy. And no, that's absurd. Try living with somebody in your 30s and 40s. Go ahead. Try having roommates into your late damn. I got out of college and I didn't have a roommate. Finally, first time. Had a brother as a roommate all the way through up to 18, college roommates all the way to 22, 23. Are you kidding me? Have a roommate in my late 20s, early 30s, and 40s. Are you out of your mind? This is what they've been sold. It's maddening. The propaganda, what they did to destroy us. And they did. They destroyed us. This woman says that feminism is demonic. Let's see if this is true. Let's see if what she says is true, that it's demonic. Let's watch.
In my marriage, feminism is demonic. Let's talk about it. It pulls away of God's original design for man and woman. God, man, woman, children. And yes, men are the head of the household. And that's what ruined my marriage because I looked at my husband as my equal, that we were competing with each other and that I wore the pants, that I made the rules, I had the control. But this is when women no longer listen to understand, they listen to respond. So I'm not saying that we as women are below men. That's not how it is. And women are going to hear this and think, I can provide for myself. I can do everything that a man can do for myself and be happy and do what I want to do. Listen, I know you can. I can too. That doesn't mean we're supposed to. We are not equal. We are equal in importance, but we are not equal in our roles. Feminism completely destabilized the whole family structure, and we're watching the consequences of it in real time. The problem does not lie with the woman having her own job or even having a career or her own business. The problem lies because feminism told us to prioritize all of that over being a mother and a wife. Feminism has sold women the lie of freedom, but take a look around. Are women actually freer? But actually, if you look around, women are more anxious, more lonely, more confused, even more medicated than ever. They're not freer. So maybe, just maybe, the problem isn't men. It's a lie that we've been sold. And I only say all this because I know I've been there, I've lived it. I'm speaking from truth. And Jesus saved me. The culture is going to call this misogyny, this whole post. Meanwhile, scripture calls it order. Y'all have a blessed day.
Yep, she's 100% correct. And she's even more correct than I think she even understands. She's saved by Jesus. That means something else opposite of Jesus was running her life, and that would be Satan. And feminism is demonic because it's outside of God's natural order. And she's right. Does anybody look happy? Does any of these women look happy? I mean, dear God, the majority of the women that are unmarried and miserable are liberals. Do they look like someone you want to have coffee with? Somebody you like to get on an elevator and have a quick chit chat or sit next to on a plane? Or do you think that you're asking if there are any other open seats? Where you look at the right, the conservative Christian right, they're happy. And all the polls show it. They're double, triple digits of happiness more than the left. Why? Because they're in God's natural order. They're in God's graces. They're moms. I'm going to just show you a liberal woman. This is the new thing for liberals, and it is to scream. They're mentally ill. This is one of more than 25% of the crazy women that are on some psychiatric drug. This is absolutely one of them. This is the new fad. Do they look happy?
People are so unwell.
I'm not trying to be funny, because as I watch that again, as I produce my shows, I have to watch it over and over. That was sad. I don't know why it struck me as sad. Usually I just laugh at these crazy ladies, but that's sad. Just by the look of her, she's in her late 30s, early 40s, maybe. My mother never did that. My grandmother and my aunts, my sisters never did that. What the F is going on? And again, this proves my point. There are young men, could be young like my son in their teenage years, and the guys that are in their 20s and the guys that are becoming in their own, they're hitting their groove in their 30s. They have a career and they're making their waves, right? They're riding their wave. They're all looking around, and they're recognizing that this is the norm. Crazy broads screaming, crazy broads on psychiatric drugs, or I can get a woman, a young, beautiful Christian woman, and she's going to love me, and she is going to not have an affair. She's going to be stable because she's rooted in God, rooted in her Christian faith. Do you think that woman that I just showed you is rooted in anything except insanity? Who's going to want to lay down their life for that crazy broad? You think that screaming and gyrating and pulsating on some yoga mat, you think that's the last time that's going to happen? Or do you think that's going to happen like repeatedly throughout your life together? And men are just saying, no, thank you. No, thank you. I'll just stay by myself. Do you think there's no correlation between the excessive use of pornography by men and the women behaving and acting like this? Do you think you don't see any causation? I'm not making an excuse for men to watch porn. I'm just saying it's obvious to me that men are turning to porn because they're looking at the options in women today, and they're like, no, thank you. No, thank you. I'll take care of myself. Knowing that they're unhappy, knowing that the porn is dragging them down and down and down, and they have a strong desire to fall in love, to provide, to be a father. But in the meantime, they're like, no, thank you. Welcome to America 2026. Feminism has destroyed God's natural order. There's nothing in God's natural order that this world resembles anything. Here's another clip of Rachel Wilson that I showed you earlier, talking about statistical data on women. I want you to listen to her talk to this Whatever podcast. And I have my son watch this. My son watches Whatever podcast sometimes, like the clips, because I want him. And I don't sit there and go, this is who you don't want to date and don't want to marry. No, I just let it play out. And my son watches it. And he's like, man, those ladies are crazy, Dad. Why do you think they're crazy? And I sit back and go, well, why do you think they're crazy? I think they're unrealistic. I don't think they have God. I think they're brainwashed. Mm-hmm. Yep. Good. That's somebody you never, ever want to be with.
Women what they say they want. You want to vote, you sign up for the draft. You want equality, then we need 50% of women in wastewater treatment, garbage collection,
Oil rigs,
underwater
work, welding.
All the dirty, dangerous, difficult jobs. No. It's not just the cushy office jobs. No. We want you in there, ladies. And you should be digging graves and ditches. You should be embalming bodies. You should anything that the men are doing that's dirty, dangerous, and difficult that makes this country run. Equality is when 50% of those jobs are held by women. Until then, shut the up with your women's equality bullshit. Shut the up with your feminism until 50% of these jobs are held by women.
This is a great. I don't watch it to get enlightened. I watch clips of it with my son so my son can see, not hear his dad go on and on. Don't want to be that guy. I want him to see it. I want it to register. So when he is old enough to begin to seriously date to find a partner, a wife, that he recognizes the insanity, the absolute stupidity. Now I'm talking about Christian women, but even there, you have to be able to discern who is truly believes in God and who is just a fraud. And this woman is outside of a church. I'm going to show you right now. She's outside of this older lady is outside of a church, a Baptist church. And she's speaking to a younger lady. And I want you to listen to this younger lady that's supposed to be a Christian talk about her role as a woman with a husband. And tell me, would you want to marry this broad?
So do you believe that Christian women should obey their husbands? Why or why not? And tell us your opinion.
I don't really know. I don't really know how to answer this. I don't feel like we should, that women should have to obey anybody, no matter what, if they're their husband or.
This is the disease of liberalism and feminism. A woman should not have to answer to anyone. Do you know that you'd be hard pressed to find a man that would make that statement? All the men don't want to have to answer to someone, but we all know that we are going to answer to someone. And this woman has no idea. She's biblically stupid, and we're going to learn further and further that if she is married, that poor guy that has to live with this.
I just feel like we should be asking or believing, trusting in God. So if your husband asks you to do something that you feel like is against God, that you wouldn't obey them.
So assuming that he's following God, would you then obey him?
I would ask, I don't know. It's hard for me to answer that. I don't know. That's a very big comment.
And they got her poor little daughter behind her is going to learn from her mother that she doesn't have to listen to her husband. Well, is this some kind of equal 50-50? Is that what God said in the Bible? You just came out of a Baptist church. Is that what God said in the Bible, that you're going to be 50-50 with your husband? And if you do believe that, please point to where that has worked in America, in society in general, but specifically in America. How has that played out? The great thing about what we're discussing today is I'm not saying we're in the middle of feminism and this is what it's going to look like in 20, 30, 40 years from now. No. I'm saying this is the subset of people that we had in the 60s and 70s. We've gone through 50, 60 years of insanity to get to this point. We have the manifestation. We've run the test. Here's the results. The results are clear that this is no way healthy in any realm. Even if you don't believe in God and believe in what I'm talking about today, you can look at this and say, yeah, this ain't working. It's just not. The data just says it. The data says it out loud. This ain't working. I'm looking around. I'm looking at people that are unhappy. This ain't working. Sorry. When before you were not disposable, you were, I need my wife. My children need my wife. Our family needs my wife. Without my wife, this is going to fall apart. I need her. Therefore, I'm going to work my ass off for her. I'm going to protect her. I'm going to cherish her. Why do you want to cherish a 25-year-old Celica with 50 drivers? Why do you think divorce is so high? Why do you think men are going to keep taking this abuse from women? No, you're insane. Let's listen to this biblical genius.
Conflict.
Do you believe, like, because we go to a lot of different churches and they have different beliefs. So Some churches think maybe it's like a misinterpretation of those Bible verses. Others, they think it's not in there. So what are your beliefs around like submitting and gender relations?
I just feel like, yeah, times have changed and we probably should just not read so much into that portion, like just trying to nitpick it. But we do, like women, equal rights. We should be able to have the ability to think for ourselves, but to try to also, like, put your trust in God, not just your husband. So you're going to be.
So do you think?
Well, okay. I mean, dear God, where am I going to start with this chick? I mean, she's maybe the Toyota Celica you just throw away. You're just like, and literally, this isn't just me being mean. There's guys like me that are like, I'm not wasting my time. Why am I going to waste my time? Like if she's single and has a daughter, why am I going to waste it? How am I going to reprogram this broad? She's a Christian. She doesn't even know the biblical realities. So why would I think about this? You're a man. Say you're 45. Why would I take that? Why would I take that when I got someone that's 30? That's been like, I'm here. I'm waiting for a good man. I found you. Who are you going to choose? Who are you going to choose? It's very clear. It's very binary. And women are finally waking up to it. You better get in the ball game, sweethearts, or you're going to be just left in the dust. So you can dance this fantastical dance of power and all this and blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, the power falls right back to the man. Because I know the only man that you could get to strong arm, you don't want. So that's the beauty of all the feminism. You actually have been convinced that you want what you don't want. You want feminine men. Then you get feminine men, and then you're like, I can't take this. I need an alpha. Then you get an alpha, and you're like, holy smokes, I was never prepared to deal with an alpha. He ain't taking any of my crap. No, sweetheart, we're not. We're not. That's why you're seeing massive, they call it gray divorces. Older men finally saying, okay, I got my kids out. I got everything. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. And they leave. 50, 60, 70 years old. Divorce. Leave. Is there anything that makes sense to you anymore? I'm going to show you, I'm going to try to get through this video. Okay. And the reason why I'm going to try to get through this video, this is a woman. This is a point of view. It's literally in the video. I'm going to read it it's to my left. Point of view of a single woman who lives alone with no kids and no friends. So evenings look like this. No judging. I just want you, if you're watching this show, because I have a lot of women that watch my show, and you younger women, I want you to look at this and see how fast does this life make you want to kill yourself? Are there married women with children that would kill for an evening like this? Absolutely. Where no one's around and I can just kind of take a shower and go to the bathroom without people yelling at me, maybe have a meal that's still warm when I eat it so I'm not getting up feeding and getting spilled milk dried up. And yes, I get that. We all want it. But do you want this every single day? And then I'm going to contrast it with women that are married and happy with children. Just watch this. I don't know how long I can go through it, but let's watch it.
There you go. Electric shock, my God. Jesus Christ. Electric shock and a half. There's no one in for
He said that kind of excited and I jumped.
Do you know what? I actually just think I'm gonna have my normal dinner. Wrong way around. I have every night. I just get decision fatigue by this time of the day, and it's gonna go with soup.
You imagine being so bored you film yourself doing nothing and try to convince yourself that that is a full life. That's a full life. That took a little over 2 minutes. I'm going to show you a video that is less than 15 seconds. And you tell me what life has the most joy, has the most fulfillment, is the most godly, and who looks more happy. Tell me. Just look at that little pumpkin. You tell me. Look at the smile on that young lady's face. Are you telling me is that a hard decision for you? You young ladies, you men that are thinking about being fathers and who you're going to marry? Is that fairly simple on what your decision should be? That young beautiful woman and her little baby. Do you think that woman is dying to go to work tomorrow? Do you think that woman is going to leave her child? Could you imagine being the husband coming home and telling that wife, "Hey, you need to go get a job. We'll put their child in this daycare." What? Excuse me? That's not going to happen. And rightfully so. And rightfully so. And I want to show you, I'm going to contrast this one, do another contrast for you. Because I saw this video months ago, but I went and searched for it just for this show. Because I just showed you an older lady, she has to be in her 40s, with a cat in a small apartment, townhome. Clean, she looked like, fairly attractive older lady, versus this beautiful young woman that has a child. Who you think's going to have more joy in her life? If she has no more children, just that one child, who's going to have a more fulfilling life? And then I want to kind of superimpose both of them together, and we have this woman being told that she can have everything. And this woman finally wakes up and she looks like she's in her 30s, attractive, late 30s. And she realized that she can't have it all and that she gave everything to a job, and has missed out and is missing out on all of her children's lives. This is a cautionary tale that I think that maybe this should be played ad nauseum in elementary and middle school and high schools for women to watch over and over and over again.
Okay, I'm going to make this quick because I have to go into a meeting. I have 3 meetings today. I have been in the corporate life for almost half my life. For context, I'm 40 years old. I have 2 children who are 11 and 7. And I fell for it. I fell for this thing where, go to college, get your degree. If you want to have kids, you can do it all. You can have a career, you can have kids, you can just do everything. Well, I don't want to do everything. I don't want to do that anymore. I fell for that shit. Do not fall for it. Do not fall for that shit. I want to take my kids to school. I want to pick them up from school. I want to be there when they get home. I want to chaperone for them, volunteer at school. I just want to go to the gym, clean my house, do laundry, go to the grocery store, and just be home. So do me a favor. Do not fall for that shit, because it is not worth it. It's a joke. It's a joke. Don't do it. Be home, find a way to be home, be with your family, be with your kids. Just, it's not worth it. None of this is worth it. So.
None of it is worth it. None of it is worth it. You could feel the pain. You could feel the pain in her voice, because she knows that she's like, right then at that moment, she's missing what she needs to be enjoying. She needs to be embracing. Her kids need her. She needs her kids. But we have to work 2 jobs now, 3 jobs, because we have wars in the Middle East. We have propaganda from that we're a secular nation, propaganda that women are equal to men, propaganda that men can be women. I want to show you some pain right now, and you're going to hear it for about 30 seconds. You're going to hear a woman's pain when she's holding her 2 beautiful twins, knowing she's got to go to work. Now, you tell me how this doesn't have a massive, profound, negative impact on women.
So today is my last day of maternity leave, and I go back to work tomorrow. And I just feel like I haven't had enough time with them. I know I got longer than a lot of women get with 3 months, but it just doesn't, I just don't feel ready.
You don't feel ready. 3 months of being a mom. Of course you don't feel ready, ma'am. You're not supposed to be ready in 3 months. Hell, you're not supposed to be ready when they go to college, when you had 18 years, or when they get married and they go away. It's going to break your heart. Not 3 months. Look, I just have enough time to discuss. I just have enough time to discuss the decisions of work versus being a mom. I mean, I could do a whole show on, let's talk about how you've murdered your child in the womb, like killed your baby in the womb, and the profound impact, negative destruction of your soul, and the manifestation of who you are, and all of the 6 out of 10 women on narcotics. And everyone's like, well, I don't know why they're 6 out of 10. Because they're murdering their babies, you jackasses. What do you think they're going to be like? God, we got guys coming home from war, effed up from killing savages. What do you think is going to happen to and they're built, and we're built for that. What do you think is going to happen to the woman that's built to have babies, and that woman went in and slaughtered her children in her stomach? Do you think they're not going to have any PTSD? Do you think they're going to be okay? God, dear God, wake up. But I'm going to stick on this. I'm not going to go into abortion, even though it should be discussed all the time. I'm going to show you a woman, a young woman that got lied to. Like the 40-year-old woman with the 2 kids that all she wants to do is go and be a chaperone. I just want to go to the grocery store. Just want to go to the gym. Just want to clean my house. But this young lady got sold the entire bill of goods to go to college, get a degree. Now she's in debt. Now she's working to pay off a college degree that is worthless. The entire time she's working to go hunt and pay for that, get the money to pay for the exorbitant college that she paid for some gender study crap. She has no time to find a husband, no time to have children, no time to be a mother. She thinks that her life is tough now at 25, 26, I'm guessing. Wait till she's in her 30s. Wait till she's in her 40s and looking at a life lost. Listen to this. Listen to not just the pain. Listen to the franticness.
So as it turns out, the student loans that I've been paying $1,500 a month for 2 years interest rate. So what I thought I've been paying off for all
$1,500 a
this
month.
time, I'm actually like, I owe more than what I started off with. What the fuck? So Jeff Bezos, this would be a really cool fucking time to Venmo me, bro. Like, I owe $90,000 and I didn't even spend that much on school. Like, any rich person, please tap in. Like, Kourtney Kardashian, like, you probably have 8 houses. I'm never gonna be able to buy one because I went to college. I just signed up to be an egg donor. Guess what? Got approved. Who wants my fucking kids? I can't afford them, so start a bidding more. Just fucking take them. What do you want? My left arm too? Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? I'm gonna be in debt for my whole fucking life.
Yep.
How does that even make sense? I signed up for this shit when I was 17. Like, this should not be legal, bro.
She's right.
I
It
got
shouldn't be
upset about
legal.
it at work, and my coworker was like, don't you have, like, a rich relative who can pay that for you?
These women live in fantasy. They've been sold. They have some culpability, right? A lot of culpability. But they've been sold this whole bull crap. Her life is miserable now. Do you think it's going somehow that's going to get better? She's making a mortgage payment at 17%. It's going to take her about 40 years to pay that 90,000 off. Dear God. 90,000. That's like $16,000 a year in interest. She's paying $18,000 a year. She's making about $2,000 a year in principal payment. She's got 40, 50 years of payments. Do you think she's happy? Do you think she's happier than, say, your mother or your grandmother when she was that age? Your mother and your grandmother at her age already had a child, had a house. You go ask my mother, who was a businesswoman, not by choice, but out of necessity, but she was always home. Always, it was a home business. And you ask her, what was the greatest memories? Oh, that's so easy. The greatest memories is when I wasn't working at all and I just had children and we just went to the park and got ice cream and went to the swimming pool and played in the house. You ask any woman, they're going to tell you the same thing. And this is where you take all, like, I just showed you that woman. Does that woman look on any level to be rational? And now we have those women in positions of authority and power and ruling over us. And this is a pastor named, and I've shown you before, Joel Weebon. He calls it the curse of feminism. And it is God's natural order being perverse. And this is the way God punishes men that are weak. He puts women over them. And I believe that wholeheartedly. You don't have to agree with me and him, but try to argue against what he's going to tell you right now.
Yeah, so you have women leading in the home, you have women leading in the church, you have women leading in the marketplace when it comes to production, and you have women leading in government at every single level. And God is not going to bless that. I think we have seen the curse unfold. Also no more women in Congress, right? No more female state reps, no more women in any function of societal leadership.
I don't think that's a hard ask. I don't think that's a hard decision. Because once again, here we are in reality in present time. And we can look back and we can see a different world, a world that was uncomplicated, not chaotic, and was in order. And we can look at present day and see disorder, chaos, unhappiness, and fear. I think the choice is very, very simple. I vote yes on God's natural order.